Hi, welcome back. So, today we're going to be continuing the dining chair by completing the plywood seat. We're going to take it from its plywood start to its upholstered finish, all the way. So, let's get cutting. So the first thing that we want to do with our plywood sheet is actually clamp it down to the 4x4 or 4x8 table. Now to do that, I chose to use low pro clamps, making this process really easy. As you can see, I've actually already cut a piece out of this board. That was just my prototype, and so now we're cutting the real thing. Now, one thing that I had to make sure that I did correctly was first get everything nice and snug so that it was clamped flat to the table. And then second, make sure I had enough room to actually cut everything that I needed to. Now, that's fairly easy if I just input the size of my blank, the size of the sheet that I have, into Aspire and basically just lay it out there. That way I can get maximal use of my sheet goods with minimal amount of drawing onto the actual board and measuring out which things need to go where. Once we have everything cut out, we can take a flush router to it, cut everything out, sand off any tabs that were left, and then now we can start the upholstery. So I've actually got John here to help a little bit teach me how to upholster. So the first thing that we're going to do, we actually need to trace the shape of the seat onto a block of foam. Now I chose 2 just because this specific block of foam was not as thick as I would have liked, so we had to cut through 2 sheets. That ended up posing a few unique challenges, but we ended up getting a serviceable blank that we were able to refine and trim the edges off afterwards. Once we had refined the edges, we were able to put the foam onto the seat and then flip it upside down onto our batting. Now, for batting here, we are using, instead of the traditional batting, we are using a towel. And that is, not going to make a huge difference. Some of you who have upholstered in the past may scoff, but this will work just fine. It's just the right texture. And so other than being a bit of a brighter color, it's going to work just fine. The first thing that we're going to do is actually start in a corner. Since we have a corner picked out, we're going to take our batting and we're going to fold it up over the seat. Now, what we're going to do here is try and get a nice round curve. Now, this is important that we set this curve correctly because it's going to be the curve for the rest of the seat, or at least the base of the curve for the rest of the seat. So once I've got it pulled tight, I'm going to take my staple gun and I'm going to put 3 staples in the corner, and that's just to hold the corner in shape. Now, the next step after that is to continue the curve all the way down. And so I'm going to be pulling the batting up against the foam to create a nice round curve. And it needs to be as consistent as possible. Now, if there are a few high and low spots, it's okay. We will fix that when we actually put the faux leather on the top. But for now, we want to make it as consistent as possible because it will make our job easier later. So once we've got a few staples into the one side, setting our curve, we want to go to the other side and do that so that when we pull, we're not actually pulling the seat out of alignment with the batting itself, and instead we're just pulling the actual cloth tighter. So repeating the steps that I had on the one side, we move to the other. So now after I have that corner done, I'm going to go down all along the right edge and continue stapling until I hit the bottom corner. So I actually do get a point in here where I pulled too tight and stapled in. So I'm actually going to take a pair of wire cutters, snip that staple, and then pull it out before pulling it to the correct tightness and continuing. So once we reach the bottom corner, I'm actually going to pull fairly tight to create a nice smooth edge on that corner. Now, once we reach the edge of that corner, I'm going to staple a few times and then continue back to the other side. Now I pick up where I left off on the other side and continue down until I hit the bottom corner again. Now, once I reach that bottom corner, I'm going to pull the bottom corner tight, folding it up along the edge to create a nice crease. Now, once I staple along the back edge, I can continue to the front edge, and this is where it really matters, because this is where things will show up the most. That's why we put it off to the last, is so that I could get a hang of actually stapling all the edges and the corners correctly. Trimming away all of our excess, now we can actually continue on to the real part, which is setting down the faux leather. The next step is to lay out our faux leather, or our actual seat covering. So we do this by putting the seat face down on the table about 6 to 8 inches away from the edges. So conveniently, we have about an 8-inch long white marker that we're going to be using to draw out the edges. Once we have the edges marked, we can cut them with scissors. Now with our square cut, we're actually going to start with the front this time, because we're going to need to keep the curve as consistent as possible. And starting with the front means that we have a baseline to go with for the rest of the chair. Once we have the sides stapled, we can trim off the excess and move on to the back. The back is fairly simple. We're going to fold it like a present, folding the first 2 corners into a 45-degree angle and then tucking the excess under the part. We can then staple, pull the flap that's created up and over, and then staple that. And with that, we have a nice present-ended bookend. Now look at this. Isn't she beautiful? With that, we've got everything we need to finish the dining chair. So, I look forward to seeing you guys next time on the assembly video. Bye.